Hello, this is Rafael Quezada, here today with Craig Shields from 2 Green Energy. Craig is the author of a few books on renewable energy. This is Renewable Energy Facts and Fantasies, and you should check it out. Craig, welcome to the show.
Thanks very much.
So you have a new asset in your organization.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Well, I'm of the opinion that 2 Green Energy should be able to handle anything. In other words, the answer is always yes here. If you're a company in renewable energy or sustainability more generally, or electric transportation more specifically, I want to be able to say yes to any question. And when I realized that the world is in the process of transforming itself vis-a-vis transportation. We're in the process of developing an entirely new paradigm about the way we move our bodies and our cargo around the surface of this planet. When I realized that, I thought I need to be in contact with a consultant or a team of consultants that I can bring in any situation where, for instance, a municipality says, you know, here's the way we move around. Here's our patterns of transportation, commuters, people going to the airport and back, etc. We want to do this in a more thoughtful, more sustainable way. How should we do that? Well, that's a big question. Okay? That requires a kind of visionary, and I've come across one in the form of this guy, Dan Stuges.
What's Dan Stuges' gift?
Well, his gift is, as I say, as a visionary in this space, it's being able to look at the panorama of different potential solutions in transportation and being able to say, here's what you really ought to be doing. Here's the way a municipality ought to be creating incentive for people, individual consumers, and for businesses to change the way they move stuff around. Now that, as I say, this is a very broad question, because when the first way in which I first got a hold of Dan was having to do with a tram. So in other words, this is you know, imagine like a tram at an airport. And I go, well, this is amazing. This can transform everything. And he goes, no, it can't. This is a part of a solution. In other words, if I go to maybe the most progressive, most affluent city you can think of, say Santa Monica, California, and I say, okay, I want you to trade in your car because now I've got trams all over the place. People are going to go take a hike. So in other words, they need to, it's true that they need to move around inside of Santa Monica, but they need to go to Los Angeles, they need to take long trips, etc. So it's a portion of a solution. So this is all about how we take a step back and we look at the evolution of transportation. Well, what are we really trying to accomplish here? Well, one thing is we're trying to encourage less of it. We want to have fewer people owning, registering, and driving cars. We want fewer car miles. We want more walking. We want more bicycling. Okay? We want to rearrange our cities so they don't require us to do these crazy things. We want to encourage mass transit. We want to encourage car sharing. Right? Ride sharing, all manner of different ways of lessening the carbon footprint. So I've interviewed Dan several times. I've had him on a webinar. I really like the way he thinks, the way he interacts, and ultimately the solutions that he comes up with I think are extremely far-minded. I just want to, the reason I wanted to make this video is that I wanted to give people an opportunity to say, let me turn this guy loose. Let me call him into my city or county or whatever and say, let me get this guy's take on what we ought to be doing here. Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, it's the ultimate win for people. The people are happier, they're healthier, they're using less fossil fuel, they're breathing better, they're contributing less to global climate change, they're creating new traffic patterns, there are new businesses springing up associated with these new traffic patterns. It's really...
But you do need to spur this, and getting to the cities and dealing with the officials that are more or less comfortable in their occupations. They're not motivated to change codes.
You know, I don't know. I don't know, and I won't until I try. But I figured when I first spoke with Dan, I said, I want to find out what happens when I inform proactively the few thousand most likely candidates on this thing, the city planners, the transportation managers.
Yes.
There's no reason to go to all of them at the same time, but I'm going to create a campaign that takes a few hundred or 1,000 or so of these people and make sure there isn't a single person there that doesn't know exactly what this capability represents. So I guess we'll see what happens.
I like that proactive philosophy.
Well, thank you very much.
Very good. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Happy to do it. If people are interested in finding out more about this, just go to the website 2greenenergy.com and hit the contact button, and I'll get right back to them.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.